No, no, no. You're welcome.
It's all part of the experience, my man. It's awful fun. Go on in the back. Fill on in there. Yeah.
I sat on this one yesterday.
You guys go ahead and sit.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, come on back here. My name is Ken Walker. I work here at Devil Distillery. I'm a distiller. I'm an artist. I have a tremendous passion for distilled spirits. I have 20 years of moonshining experience. I chased our heritage in West Virginia on corn whiskey, which was a huge thing for me. It was a personal journey as an artist, and I really, really enjoyed understanding what our heritage in this state is. Our heritage is corn whiskey. Corn whiskey made with sugar, corn, water, yeast, done in the mountains. We have places like Old Smoky Hollow Road. We got, like, you know, different names that are associated with moonshiners. Typically, they would go up in these roads. They kind of drove long miles through the mountains, go up into a pass and dead end up in there, and they usually had a back door on the back side where they could get, if anything was happening, they were watching the road, and then they could run out the back side as the revenues were coming in. And I've heard these stories from actual moonshiners. I've worked with actual moonshiners. So my journey kind of ends here as I kind of go through that journey and that heritage. I got so good at it, I was running a 50-gallon still out of my barn, and I'm like, this is not good. My wife's a school teacher. This is not a good thing. I need to do something better with my life than that. So I went ahead and chose, and I came over here with Wiley and Dave in April, and then I started my journey now in the art of making whiskeys, which is much very similar to the moonshining art. I was a pot stiller then. Wiley cut his teeth on a pot still too. And then as we start getting into these whiskeys, we're starting to write our own Jefferson County, our West Virginia story as whiskey makers. So our micro distilleries in this country today are now just starting on their journey in the whiskey markets. You'll see in West Virginia, a lot of our distilleries are actually moonshine culture distilleries. The reason being is because that's where our heritage is. Moonshiners are now coming out of the mountains and going legit, and their first products that they're bringing to market are moonshine. So you'll see a lot of that in our lineups. But the most interesting I'm starting to see is that the bourbons and the whiskeys are definitely starting to happen. And I'm watching these small distilleries start to throw corn whiskeys into barrels. I'm watching them throw some mash bills together, doing all grain bills, making bourbons, and they're now starting to come to fruition. So I'm watching a lot of young distilleries start to drop their first barrels, and I'm starting to see some amazing whiskeys coming out of our micro distilleries, not just in West Virginia, but I've been down to Florida, I've been up north, out west, Midwest. These whiskeys are all different, all new. No longer can Kentucky sit there and tell us what whiskey is, because now they're competing against the rest of our country, right? And we're starting to see some great things come out all over the place. The aging is happening different, elevations. Our grains are different in the ground and soils that we're doing. So our whiskeys are starting to change. It's no longer Kentucky and Tennessee owned. Now we're starting to see some very cool things and innovative things starting to happen. One of the most exciting things that we started here, I started working with heirloom grains. And heirlooms is something that I don't quite understand. What's the difference between the different corns, right? We've been started off the last year running all yellow corn. It's the same yellow corn that we pull up the fields around here. And then I went up to PA, ran into a guy up there who turned me on to these heirloom corns. I've got this calico, which is like an Amanda Palmer heirloom corn, and then I got a blue corn over here. So what I'm doing is, I'm now taking my corn whiskeys, and I'm making the same grain bills, but I'm using just that calico Amanda Palmer corn. I'm learning what that palate tastes like. I'm going into this blue corn and I'm learning what that palate tastes like. I'm writing my story now, right? So as we start to learn and understand this, I realize that I'm going to have to do this for at least 10 more years to really get good at it. So I am super excited about that one. Okay. So we are learning about our bourbons. We are decided not to focus on one or two. We have about 15 different grain bills. We have about 15 different bourbons we're putting down. We're going to be like, you know, an ice cream shop with 51 flavors in here by the end of it all. We're going to create a label that allows me to stamp down. You'll be like Disney World. Yeah, we're going to be Disney. Well, yeah, that's coming too. So, you know, we're going to be using a label that's generic for all these, but I'm going to stamp on that label a grain bill so that we can come in and all explore together all these different variations. And as we start getting the feedback, we're going to start honing that in. So it's not just our journey, it's our community's journey, it's your journey as well. And if you follow us on Facebook, you can join us on this, and it's a lot of fun. I got to tell you, if you're whiskey drinkers, our moonshines, we're using corn whiskey bases. We're working locally with our orchards around here, and when in season, we're making our things like apple pie moonshine, right? Our blackberry, which we're out of right now, we're waiting for that to come in. Right now, we've got mango, so we're working with mango purees, corn whiskey, blending them together, and that's kind of the big kickoff today. So, pretty exciting stuff. Right here, I'll just tell you a little bit about our equipment. I'm running on a 150-gallon mash tun over here. That's where we make all our whiskey. As far as the sugars go, we start the whiskey process there. We cook our grains down. We can go ahead and get the sugars converted from the starches, and that's where we kind of come over here and check this out. It's a big group, but I'll put you all through here. We have to make our sugar from grains. You can kind of walk around this stuff. Watch your step, please. But you really should just come over here. Take a taste of that, because that is so good. It's not hot. It's coming down the tone. Got the sugar on there. And please, I'll kind of back out and just kind of make our way around. Take a taste out of there, because it is badass. That's where our whiskey starts. And from there, we're going to go on down into these mash barrels here, and we're going to add the yeast to it. This is all part of the whiskey process again. All grain, we got to make that sugar you tasted there, which is amazing, right? And then we're going to go in and add yeast to it. And in here, I'm fermenting it. This is that blue corn. That's why it's purple like this. You'll see the difference in color. Yeah, it's pretty. It's purple when I cooked it down. It's pretty badass. That's our standard yellow corn over there. You'll see the color difference. And then right now, I'm trying to understand what the taste difference is. It's the same grain bill, 93% corn, 7% barley on the blue corn. I got yellow corn over there. I'm going to run it side by next week, and we'll find out what the difference is flavor is. And I'm going to go through about 6 different heirloom corns like that. And then I'm going to start thinking about the heirloom corns. As we do in a whiskey bill, we have percentages of different grains. I'm looking at a corn whiskey now with different percentages of heirloom corns in it. Can I craft a corn whiskey on a finer level? And how do I impact those flavors through those heirloom corns? And how do I bring it together? I'm a chef in the kitchen. I'm freaking smiling because I love learning new things, right? So our journey is young. It's very exciting. From there, I'm going to go ahead and make this mash into about 12% ABV. Yeah, watch your step there. Sorry. We are working. We're like pumping on the same time. So I'm going to drive all this mash over into there, and that's where I'm going to do all my distilling from. And from there, I'm going to extract about 11.5 gallons of 150 proof distillate out of there. And then 2 things I'm going to make with it. I'm going to make corn whiskey where I can add flavors to it. So we'll back that out and collect that up and we'll make those products that way. And then I'm also going to collect them and I'm going to drive them into these wooden barrels right here. Right now, my capacity is I can fill or juice one of these barrels in 1 week. I can do 1 barrel a week. And then I can also do 3, or I can do 3 of those 15s in a week as well.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So if you have to let these brew ferment for years, where do you keep the barrels?
The barrels?
Yes.
Well, right now we're just starting them up right here. We've got another brick house we're going to be expanding. We have 9 acres here. We just secured 6 more.
Okay.
By the way, last Sunday was our first year birthday. We made it 1 year.
Nice.
That was a milestone. So
Congratulations. Yeah.
Wiley did a great job. Super excited. So what we're ended up doing, we secured 6 more acres down this way, and then we're going to be building rick houses in here. Jack Daniels is sitting on a 10-acre campus. We're only 1 acre under that. Look for us to grow. My goal is 1,000 gallons still. My goal, I want to see 30% amount of liquor coming out in a week. That's what I want to do. And that's what we try to do here. The interesting thing about this business is it's all cool. Moonshining's cool. It's got stigma. It's got some kind of reputation. But it's always on your own terms. When you open a distillery, it's a way different ballgame, man. It's production, it's manufacturing, and it never stops. You have to keep making whiskey. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm now trying to figure out how I get 5 runs in a week, and I can increase our production by, that amount. So it's a real, coming from manufacturing, it's an interesting challenge. I see it. So keeping the craft alive, keeping the art, yet as we grow, the challenge is going to be how do we keep this magic alive? How do we keep this whole thing going in a very strong amount? At some point, how big does it get? Because I have a feeling in Jefferson County here, we are growing fast, and we're super excited. So stay in touch with us on Facebook. Follow us down on that because we're sharing what we're doing here. We have new flavors coming out. We've got a lemon drop that's coming out, I think around June, and then about end of summer, we're going to be in the raspberry. It's all about seasonal for us. And then once that raspberry comes out, and then we're going to be coming back into our apple pie moonshine. Facebook is where we're kind of showing everybody what we're doing. I do have a couple White Dog whiskeys that are interesting up front here. We're offering those with that barrel, right? We're selling the small barrels here today. And with those, you can actually do your aging at the house. We got, I think we got 2-liter barrels available. Hey, Wiley McDade, is that 2-liter barrels that we have left or anything left?
2 liters we have, yeah.
So we have 2 bottles on there, is that right?
Say again?
2 bottles on that? 3.
On a 2 liter, 2 bottles.
Right. So we got the
You
aluminum
leave a
barrels.
little headroom, but on a 3 liter, you get 4 bottles into it.
We have a 3-liter left?
No.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you're interested in these barrels, grab them now because they'll be gone by the end of the day. And what it is I got the same white juice that we're putting in there, the White Dog whiskey I call it. The same juice we're putting in there, we got a prime offering and a corn offering today. The prime is at 103 proof, the corn is at 108. That's the same proof we put in these barrels. We're offering the small barrels so you can take those home, fill them up with the same juice, age them out in about a month to 2 because they're small, and start tasting it, and you can follow that along as well. Bringing the finishing experience to your living room as well. And serious inquiries only, if you come see me, I can tell you how we can get you a 5-gallon barrel at your house too. So just come see me, I'll talk to you, we can work out a deal there as well. So it's all about moving that juice, And that is the business right here. So any questions at all, or covered an awful lot pretty quick, so if you have any questions, come back and see me. So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
right
you.
on, man. Well, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice. Is that a chicken or a peacock? Chicken. Turkey, I mean. Fuck you.